Assalamu alaikum. Peace. So a little explanation on the topic of polygyny is that the verses may have been revealed after Uhud in the context of taking care of widows. Take care of widows. However, it does not suggest, or rather say that it is just dealing with widows. However, it is, according to hadith, it is mainly talking about a guardian who's taking care of his ward, and this ward sees the guardian looks at the ward and is attracted to her and somehow wants to steal her her wealth. So partly speaking, the verse was partly like talking about the situation whereby a man is could possibly taking care of a ward, and so not to steal the wealth from the ward, so this young woman, he can marry her. But if he will be unjust with her in regards to her wealth, then he has the choice of marrying 2 or 3 or 4 among the free women. Polygyny didn't just come about because of this particular situation. Polygyny existed before then. It has been in existence for a long time. So Islam pretty much reduced the number of how many women a person can marry. Arabs used to have 9 women, 10 women, and more. But Islam came about and said, you know what, reduce it to only 4 women. One of the Sahaba came to the Prophet, and the Prophet told him, if you have 9 women, make sure you divorce the rest and only remain with 4. So the hadith of polygyny is partly due to what happened in the incident after Uhud, but it is not necessarily stuck to that point alone. It is generally speaking about the fact that women who are alone need to be taken care of, regardless if it is widows, not necessarily widows, or other divorcees. No, it can even be those who are orphans that you have to take care of, those who have no one to take care of, not necessarily to widows and just divorcees. No. Again, the system of polygyny has existed for so many generations, like even before the advent of Christianity, even before Judaism. When you look into history, you'll see Abraham having 2 wives. Solomon had 100 wives, as the record history says. So you really can't say that polygyny is necessarily because of widows and divorcees. No, there's more reason to polygyny than just divorcees and widows. Granted, it does help widows and divorcees, but it can help many other more. Like today, for example, you have a lot of people who, you have OnlyFans women, you have women who are being led in prostitution, you have a lot of pimps trying to control all these women. So in this regard, you can say, you know what, let me help those women out, and they do need help. Sometimes a woman may be forced to do something that they don't want to do. They may be forced to be escorts, they may be forced to be hookers or prostitutes. They don't want that, but they don't have any choice. I'm not talking about all women, but some really choose that, knowing that they have other means of getting income, or other means of less shaming means of earning money, but they still do that because it's more easier. But what I'm talking about, those women who don't have any other means of getting money, any other means of being protected, and that is the only way to do it. So this is where sometimes polygyny comes to place. A man is to take care of those women, and not just any man, an actual man who is gentle and has the jealousy of saying, I am willing to protect this woman from any harm, and I personally, she is not to fear any harm from me, and she is to only have comfort and protection from me. The only thing she is to feel is safety, nothing more. So polygyny, first and foremost, is only for the protection of the women, whether it may be divorcee, whether it may be a widow, or an orphan girl, or a ward, or plainly speaking, a woman or a young woman who has absolutely no one to take care of, or she doesn't have any form of halal income or permissible income, or pretty much security and all the other stuff. So it's not necessarily especially attached to that particular event in time in Islam after Uhud. No, polygyny is wide. The context of polygyny is more than that verse, more than the event of Uhud. So generally speaking, even when you see Christians, they also practice polygyny. And they look at the patriarchs. They see Abraham. Abraham had 2 wives. So saying, and by the way, this is to Muslims. Saying that polygyny is because of Uhud and taking care of widows alone is not necessarily quite what is. So I mean, today you have a lot of women in the States, a lot of women in Europe, and in fact there are some women who like that lifestyle. I mean, let's face it, having to prepare food for your husband and making everything dandy and goody all the time can be stressful. Sometimes you need some time alone to just rejuvenate and some me time for a woman, and to take care of yourself, not all the time taking care of your husband. I mean, women have that sometimes. So yeah, polygyny has many benefits, and it's the man who is supposed to take care of the woman, but there can be the understanding to say that I will do things on my own. And there are things where sometimes women you'll be my part-time husband. I'll do my own work, I'll do my own I have my own income, I have my own place, but when I need that lovey-dovey and cuddling thing, I'll come to my husband. That's it. That works. It's not necessarily true that of the husband. I'm not encouraging that or whatever the case is. I'm just saying if more than 2, 3, 4 parties agree and say, this is the type of polygyny lifestyle we will lead, then may it be, so be it. It really just depends on how you live your lifestyle. That's it. And how each understands their part, I guess, with respect and mutual understanding. So polygyny can be good, can be bad. It really depends on the parties involved. It doesn't work for everyone. It works for some, but not for all. For some, just monogamy is good. For some, polygyny is good. So it really depends on the type of lifestyle that you're leading, or how you understand what polygyny is or what marriage is all about. So for the most part, deep down, polygyny is for those who either don't have support, don't have families, or don't have the proper push, right? Don't have the people to support them in things that they want to do, for example, in life, or no one to take care of. So that's polygyny. I mean, there obviously are many other points, but at the moment, generally speaking, tip of the iceberg, that's polygyny. I'll probably have more explanation sometime in the future, but yeah. It has a lot of, there's good and bad, but, the good is, for the most part, majority. Now, you have women who don't have to, be there all the time. So, anyways, hopefully, inshallah, I'll make more somewhat descriptive explanation in the future. Peace. There are a lot of sisters out there suffering, not having people to protect them, probably not having proper income, and I mean it can work both ways. You can have a man who is providing for his family, and sometimes one of the wives is probably just working, not wanting anything from a husband apart from emotional or sexual support. or like advice or anything. There are some women like that out there. There are, mashallah, they're academics. They have their own thing, their own work, their own income and everything, and they don't really want anything from the husband whatsoever. Like, excuse me, the only thing that they need is for them to be there. Again, emotional support, which they also could probably get from the other sister wife, but a man has that different the different thing, whatever. Cuddling, whatever, intimacy. So yeah, like polygyny can come into like different forms, not necessarily just like the man has to provide. Like, obviously in Islam, you have to at least provide for your wife. I'm just saying there are times whereby parties can say, you know what, you don't have to give me anything, I will provide for myself. I have my own income. The only thing I will need from you is emotional support, intimacy, and probably advice, and that's it. And that works. And you can lead your marriage polygyny lifestyle in more than one form, in a way. And sometimes you can have wives that are working, some that are studying, and the guy has to provide for them. Unless the wives are like, you know what, we'll do this on our own. We just need you to support us, like moral support or emotional support us, and that's it. And it works. It just depends on what understanding the partners have with each other. Mutual understanding, that's it. And there really doesn't need to be any competition in saying who's number one, who's number two, who's number three. I mean, you can be you're all equal. It's just that how how a man feels his first wife could be different because she has a different personality. The other wife has a different personality. So for example, like when you say oh, he loves me more, like the thing is, like, how can you measure that? The only thing you can see is like through actions. And well, women tend to overthink a lot sometimes, but it really just depends on how he acts towards you. So you really can say he loves her more than me. Each person has a different personality, each person has a different attitude. So of course the energy that's given back the energy is different. I mean, you can't act the same way with all of them. So polygyny works with some people, and it doesn't work with others. So it really just depends on how you lead your lifestyle and how much you give to the marriage, simply put. Because simplistically speaking, if you are someone who wants a big family or wants a lot of support, and like you just want to have like those best friends, and there are people like that, they want to have friends who are co-wives because they know maybe other people they make friends with could be backstabbers or whatnot. I'm not saying you don't have that there. I'm just saying there's a lot more possibility of your sister wives being your best friends. Sharing a husband, I mean, that's more better than either a husband cheating, even though that's on him. Sometimes you have people who have mistresses, and these mistresses know that the guy they're dating or whatever has as a wife, or probably has a girlfriend, or probably has like 2 side chicks. They know that, and they are okay. So why not make it make it sacred? Why not make it legal? I guess religiously legal. You have a lot of people practicing polygyny in an unethical way, that when people come on and say we practice it, like I've married 2 or 3 women or 4, people jump off boat. Why? It's typically the same thing. So it's really good like to keep an open mind sometimes. And they can either live in the same roof or different houses. Again, the guy has to be ready for this kind of thing, and there has to be understanding between all parties at the end of the day. So yeah, if you have any question, please ask. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. Thank you.